early Fox slate, the Eagles and the Lions. Philadelphia's Pro Bowl tackle Lane Johnson is back in the lineup. But Jay Glazer joins us right now to talk about why he was out, because this story is about much more than football, Jay.
Yeah, this story is about mental health, and it's finally being talked about in the world and the world of sports. A month ago, Lane Johnson, he left the Eagles and missed 3 games because of his own anxiety and depression issues. I myself, the reason why I did this interview, I suffer from depression and anxiety. I live in something I call the gray, and there's no way to talk about it nicely on TV. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. But the way we can all get through this is to talk about it. Lane Johnson finally decided to fight back and talk about it for the first time, and I hope he becomes the first of so many, because that way we no longer have to suffer in silence.
It's a beast, man. And it's one of those things, it goes to bed with you, man. It wakes up with you.
There he is.
It's there all the time. Until you can get a sense on how to control this, how to manage it, it'll eat you up. I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder in college. The monster kept building and building and building. It finally came to a point where I said, I'm not going to take it no more.
This is the first time anybody's seeing you publicly speak since you've come back to the Eagles. What happened that day?
The first game against Atlanta, I told my mom, I said, something's really, really wrong with me. I don't know exactly what it is. I said, I'm miserable. I know my mind isn't right. I know my body isn't right. So I left, went back home. I didn't have any communication with the Eagles.
Johnson wrote that he had secretly been battling depression and anxiety for a long time.
Trying to describe that to people that have no clue or what it's like, it's very difficult. You lose touch of your sense of self. You lose touch of what's really going on around you. And what we really tend to do is lock up, not want to say anything. I felt bad for my team, but there were signs that this wasn't something that was new to the spur of the moment. This was going on for, months.
When my depression and anxiety kicks in, it's a physical thing. I feel it, for me, I feel it on the left side of my gut and in my heart, like the world hates me, like the world's gonna end. When you wake up in the morning, you get hit with that wave. What are those voices saying to you?
Feels like doom. You just want to I just want to run away and not come back, kind of thing. It's a lot of nausea, a lot of throwing up every day.
You throw up every day from this? From your anxiety?
It got so bad. Was really starting to throw up blood. Nerves, really have tremors in my hands. This is something I've dealt with for a long time, and there's obviously there's medications that help with this, but a lot of it you can't mask everything.
How come you never said anything during that?
Because I felt like I had my stuff, I guess, temporarily under control. I was ashamed, to be honest. In this league, the NFL, where it's gladiator type sport, is something that it's not often talked about, but is often felt throughout the league. Basically,
you need to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's got to be talked about.
Need to talk about it, but yeah, man, I was living in hell for a long time. And I thought achievements, how I've done on the field, was going to make it feel better. It only amplified the situation. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad I'm sitting here talking about it, finally being open about it.
It's way more impressive than shutting down a pass rusher. For you to sit here, something that you were ashamed of, and open up and show the world it's okay to not be okay, it's okay to talk about.
It's because people are fear of judgment. I'm scared of judgment. I mean, you look at guys when they get done after a game, what do? First thing they do is go on Twitter, search your name.
Right.
And that's me. I'm talking to myself. But that's the world that you kind of need to escape. You got to get out of there and start having a purpose and a why. And I guess I didn't know my why for a while. It took a lot of time to really focus on myself to get the help I needed and to get into a good mindset again.
Give me one final message if you have for people at home watching this right now. If you can give them advice, because you've now gone through it.
I say find your most closest friend, family member, tell a loved one. And if it's to a degree of seriousness, there's always help around the corner. That's the thing. It's not far. it's never out of reach. And whenever you do this, you realize that you have a lot more in common with everybody else around you than you think. So that's the best part about all this.
Proud of you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
That right there, that was true strength. When Lane came back last week, he issued a statement on social media, which he even admitted he was so afraid to press send about what he was going through. But after seeing the response from teammates, everyday people, and even guys he goes against, like Khalil Mack and Micah Parsons, he realized, oh my gosh, this is my why. And for everybody out there, these right here, these muscles, that's not true strength. Vulnerability like that, that's true strength. You were the one who started this TV. I felt comfortable here talking about it because you talked about it years ago.
Listen, men are the worst. You're right. We think that, well, we got to be strong for everyone, but mental illness is something that affects everyone, no matter your size, your pocketbook, doesn't matter. The wise thing to do for me was I knew I had something wrong with me, and I sought help, medical help. And I went to the doctor and then had 3 years of therapy classes and medicine, and you still deal with it every day of your life. You just hope that today is not the day it pops up. And you may go weeks or months without it. I'm very fortunate. And for all of you out there, a support group is critical. And my wife, Tandy, is spot on. When I go into my moments and she knows the signs and she's jolly there by my side, encouraging me, helping me, I got to tell you, that means the world to me.
And you put it best, like Jay says, about the muscles. And you're playing football, and everybody says that the most macho sport that there is, and you got to be physically tough. But you understand, you have to be mentally tough, and it's more than just you're a human being. Regardless of being an athlete or a player, you're a human being, and you do have these insecurities and all these different things that you go through throughout your life. And I've known Jay almost 30 years. 2 weeks ago, he told me what he was going through.
You didn't know?
2 weeks ago, and I've known him almost 30 years, which makes me understand how hard it is to talk to those people closest to you about this, and for Lane Johnson to do it in such a public way. I mean, I take my hat off to him. He's going to help so many people that I know Jay has done too with his MVP program.
Isn't that crazy? You've been my best friend for 30 years. It took 2 weeks ago for me to actually tell you I can't go out. I'm struggling. I wish I told you years ago. I could have gotten help, man.
Lane obviously, as you saw in the footage there of their Super Bowl parade, played with our son Chris, and he was up at our house this summer in Montana, and I was concerned about his ankle, and I didn't see anything really, and when I got the word that he had left the facility on a game day, you understand how dire that is. And my instinct was, as a father of 3 boys, and you make a good point, Terry, it's harder for guys to really open up. You wanted to find him, whatever car he was in, heading to Oklahoma, find him and tell him everything was gonna be okay. And I think the key is, like with you, Terry, finding someone that you can confide in. That's the big key.
Yeah, nice job, Jay.
Yeah.
What I take from this is, it doesn't make any difference who you are. It doesn't make any difference how successful you are. No. We all need family, friends, and people that care about us. Yeah.
I can tell you the important thing about Lane Johnson doing that. Athletes like to say they're not role models. When you come out and publicly admit that you've got something going on that the rest of the world has going on, but most people are shy about talking about, you can be a role model.
Proud of you, Lane.
That's exactly what Lane Johnson did. Great job with the interview there. Thank you so much to Lane Johnson for sharing his journey with us as well. We'll be back to talk more football right after this. Stick around.